Welcome to this week's episode, the last big week of hard efforts before I start to taper off for Busselton, which is in 2 weeks' time. Also, I get a new toy, my Hover X Pro, and make a couple of mistakes with my training, but you'll see all of that really soon. I hope you enjoy this episode, and we'll see you soon. I started this journey at 145 kilos with a goal to complete an ironman and change my life. 12 months of work later, I crossed the finish line in Cairns 2024, 30 kilos lighter and super happy.
But the journey's only half done. We've got another 20 kilos to lose. I'm aiming to get down to 10% body fat and find that elusive six-pack.
On top of that, I'm aiming for a high course finish in the Keltman in Scotland, just to keep things interesting. I hope you enjoy my journey each week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and get notified of each new episode when it drops. So, I have got a new toy to play with. My Hover X Pro. Let's see how it goes. It's my first real play with it.
Middle, follow.
Bit of a sluggish start this morning, I gotta say. I went fishing yesterday with my daughter for a few hours and obviously caught a bit more sun than I realised and was either a bit dehydrated or I don't know. Anyway, it was about 2:30 last night when I woke up with a splitting headache. So, still kind of there this morning, but almost gone. And I'm going to hit the gym anyway to start my week as usual. But not the powerhouse start that I had hoped for. But that's okay. You got to take the good with the bad. I was happy to do the fishing. Take a headache for that any day. Well, that was not my strongest effort on a Monday morning, but it was an effort. And the headache's almost gone now, so some days you just gotta push through. So, we're gonna do something a little different today. I'm gonna climb Castle Hill. But I've got my new toy and we're gonna give it a test and see if it works as well as I hope it does. So I need to get my steps up, that's why we're doing Castle Hill. I gotta swim this afternoon, but this will be my gentle exercise. Fat burning.
got to say, that's a pretty cool toy. And I'm pretty sure it'll get me some good footage. It is hot and dry up Castle Hill, I gotta say. Haven't been up here for a while, and it looks very dry, as you'll no doubt see from this footage. So, it's my last week of high intensity before we taper off, and I think it's been different training for a half Ironman, obviously. I mean, not that I've done, 20 of them or anything, but it's different. So, it's very different. Not as many hours required, obviously. And not as many long sessions, which is all pretty obvious, I guess, when you think about it. So I would say that this is a more comfortable method of training, but what it has meant is that because it's all shorter and sharper and higher intensity, it's actually been harder for me to lose weight, because when I was training for the full Ironman, I was doing a lot longer, lower intensity sessions, and I think that certainly helped in the weight loss side of things. So I wouldn't recommend half Ironman if you're trying to lose weight as well, because it does not really compatible, let's put it that way. Training for a half has done is allowed me to work a lot on speed. So I'm just faster right across the board. At least, my pace, what's the best way to put this? When I'm running, I'm at least comfortably a minute to a minute and a half faster per kilometre than what I was, and can hold a much higher pace than that for a fair range. I'll be interested to see what my half marathon pace is in the race, but I'm aiming to hold 5:30, which will give me a sub 2 hour, which was just not even on the cards. Couldn't even run that fast when I was doing the Ironman. So, 6:30 was my pace then. so that's heaps faster. On the bike, obviously I have the new bike as well, so much faster, about 3 to 4 kilometers an hour faster on the bike. So that's a big change. And in the pool, I'm getting, some little technique changes have meant my time now is, I'm doing, in the pool I'm doing the 1.9 kilometers for the half Ironman in 35 to 37 minutes. So I'm not exactly sure what that'll translate to in the ocean, but I'm hoping for around the same. I'll be very, very happy sub 40, because obviously you just don't know what the conditions are going to be like. So yeah, all around I'm much faster. I think very impressed with how my training's come along, and obviously still losing weight and getting faster from that as well. So all around very, very happy. Hill is still hot and sweaty, that's for sure. So, what are my goals? When I did the Cairns Ironman, my only goal was to finish. I had A, B and C goals and managed to do C. Mostly because of, in-race things that happened, my neck and my feet. So I shouldn't be having any of those issues this time around, because I think we've resolved those things. So what are my A, B and C goals for Busselton, my half Ironman? So my A goal is to go sub 5.5 hours.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Because I think, look, I would really like to say my A goal is to get around the 5 hour mark, but I'm not sure that that's realistic just yet. So, let's say A is 5:20. Because I think that's in me if everything goes perfectly. B is anything from 5:20 to 5:50, because I think that's probably my most realistic zone, and C is just sub 6 hour. So, but I really think if everything goes well, I've got that, sub 5.5 hours there. It'll really just depend on the day, how everything's feeling, how hard I can push myself towards the end of the run, all of that sort of stuff. Whether there's a strong wind, who knows. Once you start talking about getting specific times, you need other things to go in your favour, not just your training. So, as Fergus says, it's good to have the goal. It's good to have that knowing that you can, push yourself. But at the end of the day, you don't know what conditions you're going to be presented with or what obstacles will happen on the day. So, I think having A, B and C is a realistic way to look at things. I'm not a pro athlete, so... but I think, given what I've got now, my next Ironman, I'll be very, very confident of going sub 12 hours just from what I've done so far in training for the half, because I've certainly got the right speed now. I just need to adapt it over a longer time, and I think I'll be very comfortable. So, but you never know with these things, so we will see. Okay, so Wednesday morning, I got a mini brick. I got a 75% of my FTP for an hour on the bike, and then into a 5k hard run as fast as I can go, basically, for 5ks. So let's see how we go. And now we head off for the 5k run. Legs are a bit burned after that, I gotta say, but not cooked. So let's see how we go. Well, that was my run. I might even learn my lesson this time. must fuel when doing more than an hour of workout. I only had a coffee and a banana, which normally for an hour on the bike would be fine. I just should have had a gel halfway through my ride, because 3.5 kilometers into my run on a really good pace, like 5-minute kilometer pace, and I just literally died. Like, it was literally like I ran out of fuel. So my fault, but live and you learn. Alrighty, so it's Saturday morning. Got like a 3/4 brick today. Got my bike out, ready to roll. Testing out one final thing with my hydration. I'm going to do my salt in my water and just see how that works. Put my electrolytes in there, see what happens, see if I like that theory. And then we're off to the gym for a 14k run after this 60-kilometer ride. Let the fun begin.
A few moments later.
Well, that is my ride done. 60k's, hour and 55 minutes. Pretty happy with the pace. It was blowing its guts out today with a nasty crosswind, very uncomfortable ride, but got it done. Happy with the pace, so let's get on to the run. Well, I can confirm now that I can't change my fueling and hydration strategy. The electrolyte drinks don't mix well with the flow gel for me, and by 6 kilometers into my run today, I was starting to get pains in my stomach and feel quite sick. So I can pull the pin on that idea and go back to my water and electrolyte tablets, because that seems to work fine, doesn't seem to cause any problems. Water seems to be much more palatable for my body. So, but it's good to know. I'm glad I tested it, because I wouldn't have liked to feel like that on a race day, that's for sure. That's why it's always important to test your strategies. Anyway, time for a shower now.
Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Next week we will be tapering down and prepping for Busselton and making sure I've crossed all my T's, dotted all my I's, got everything organised, and making sure that my fuel and hydration plan, which I will be sticking to moving forward, is all ready to go. So we'll see you next week, and make sure you take the next right.